And while I was there, it was one of the most peaceful and serene situations I've been in. And I had a little bit of time to reflect and think that sometimes in life you get stuck in a really arduous task about where you're going, and definitely the trip to get here has tested our patience and our strength. There was an 11-hour plane ride, another plane ride, a 4-hour bus ride that took 8 hours across the bumpiest, muddiest road I have ever seen. And by the time we actually saw the statue, I can easily say it was all worth it. While we were there, we had a chance to talk to a monk and get some idea of what daily life here is like. I was wondering if the monks actually come here for meditation. While we were talking to the monk, we found out a little bit about daily life here. It involves a lot of time of prayer and reading scriptures and just meditation time, and they actually only sleep from about 12:30 at night to 5:30 in the morning, and the rest of the day is full of prayer and meditation, which I thought was really interesting. They said that very few monks actually leave once they decide to stay here, and they actually welcome Western tourists coming to see this place because it helps people know that Tibetan Buddhism is still going strong in Tibet, and they actually want tourists to come and carry that message back home. I thought that was an interesting thing to learn straight from the mouth of a monk. I'm not sure if that's exactly the case or how I feel about being a tourist in Tibet quite yet, but I definitely thought it was a good viewpoint to hear and a wonderful opportunity to get it straight from the mouth of someone who actually lives here.
We went to the tomb of the 10th Panchen Lama, and it's just overwhelming how much art is in every single room and every single square foot of the place. The tomb of the Panchen Lama had to be 5 stories tall, and every single bit of the wall all the way up is covered in intricate artwork. Just the planning that went into it is amazing to me. And then taking a close look at the artwork, it kind of gave me a headache just thinking about the amount of time and effort and skill that had to go into that, the patience, the unbelievable patience that the artist must have had to draw all that. Even on the outside of the buildings, it's just a beautiful, beautiful place. It's aesthetically just so nice. The color scheme and the way it's done, beautiful without being overdone. Today is September 7th. It was quite a day. We woke up fairly early to get a good early start on things. The morning was a little kind of, I don't want to say frustrating, but well, yeah, alright. This morning was a little frustrating. There was a lot of getting organized and getting things together and all kinds of this and that going on, but we finally got everything going. When we woke up this morning, we were greeted by pretty bad rain.
The weather here is just crazy. It can start out in the morning at 20 or 30 degrees and raining and pouring, and by the end of the day it's just beautiful sunshine beating down on your head, and probably about 70 or 80 Fahrenheit, I don't really know, but it just swings so much. And today's my dad's birthday back in the States, and I was able to use a phone card to give him a call and leave a message saying happy birthday, and that reminded me of one of the things that has been, I guess, interesting to me here in Shigatse, which is that the cell phone coverage is amazing here. I never would have thought that in the middle of Tibet, cell phones can be ringing at any time in minivans, and I just find it really impressive that the coverage is that strong, and also that I can use phone cards or the internet to get in touch with relatives back home.
go insane. Oh, now it gets so meanwhile living in the city, just about to go insane. Well, I heard my baby Lord, wish she used to call my name. Gonna be another brand new day. Oh, baby, down by San Francisco. Is he telling me I stink? Did he just say I stink? Come back here. I'll show you.
The kids are so friendly and hyper and excited. It's cool to be playing pool in the pouring rain in Shigatse, and it's somewhere I never expected to be, and I survived my first yak butter tea experience. So all in all, it's been a really good day.
Just finished playing some 8-ball, kind of. Pretty close to 8-ball, just slightly modified. 3 games for 3 kwai. Works out to less than 50 cents. That's a pretty good deal. It's not even the little tiny bar tables you get back home either. It's good stuff. It's a lot of fun. They're all real friendly. Everybody wants to help you line up your next shot. It's like a community effort. Everybody's like, you should hit this ball. Oh, no, you should hit this ball. Oh, this one's a good one. And the kids are a kick. They seem to like cameras. And yeah, it's all kinds of fun around here. Everybody, anything you do seems to attract a crowd. I don't know if it's just me. Just me? What's your name? Pati? Oh, I just want to take them all home with me. My goodness, we had a day today. It was, we did a lot. Let's see, first we got up and we went and wandered around the Tibetan section of town. Wandered through some of the back alleyways.
We talked with a Tibetan for the first time, and he had a very interesting take on the Chinese-Tibetan situation, and definitely a perspective that was good for me to hear as far as an actual Tibetan finding the Chinese help in this while. It's not necessarily something I wasn't expecting or was expecting, but what he told us was that they're kind of partnered with cities from China. Beijing, for example, funds some projects in Lhasa. Shanghai has projects here in Shigatse, and it's just interesting to hear their kind of mixed or contradictory feelings. On the one hand, it's sort of subsuming the Tibetan culture. On the other hand, it's making life a lot easier and providing many more opportunities. So it was just nice to hear that from a non-Tibetan official, a non-Chinese official, and get that straight from the mouth of a Tibetan. And it's definitely an interesting perspective, and I would definitely like to talk to more people to see what they think about it.
Okay, we are now in the Shan'an prefecture, or as it's known in Tibetan, the area is called Loka, and we're outside of a town called Zedong in the Yarlung Valley, which is generally considered to be the cradle of Tibetan civilization. We're 100 or 150 miles or so east of Lhasa.
Behind me is the Yupalagang Palace, which dates back to the 7th century.
In this area we find some of the oldest palaces and oldest monasteries in all of Tibet.